Hello! Welcome to OJ Studios. Please enjoy this week's chapter of what I did during spring break. Chapter 14. Insert chapter title here. Once we got over to pizza on a whim, I started to look for Abby and Steven and found them sitting in a booth on one side of the walls. I only found them because Abby was standing up in the booth waving her arms in the air like she was guiding a jumbo jet onto a taxiway. I sat down next to Abby where she placed my towel on the seat so I would not get it wet. Abby got down from the booth and took a sip of her little kitty drink which had a little money hanging from the straw. "I see you got drinks before us," Justin said as he sat across from me next to Steven. Justin then grabbed a bag that was next to Seven and pulled out his t-shirt and put it on. I was suddenly envious that he had his shirt and I now missed the dress, because even though I hated wearing it I still would have enjoyed something covering my legs. Abby saw that I was getting envious of Justin and with a grin and a little bit of giggling she pulled up a bag from where her legs were. I took the bag and found my dress folded up inside. I had never been so happy to wear a dress in my life. I slid the dress over my head and got up slightly to put it the rest of the way on, loving the fact that the next table over could not see my thighs. I looked over to Abby who was still wearing just her swimsuit. I guess since she was born a girl, she was used to it. A waiter came by and took Justin and I's drink order, and Steven ordered a large meat lover's pizza for us to share. "So, did you two have fun?" I asked. Abby looked up from her drink and sighed. "I can't wait until I'm older, this whole you must stay in the kiddie pool at all times BS is really getting old. I promise I'll take you back when you are older," Steven said. Abby smiled at him sweetly and for a second I could see the old Abby come out in the way she looked at him. "So, what have you two been doing?" Steven asked. "Lexi has a boyfriend," Jess said. I kicked him under the table. I could feel my face turn red with embarrassment. "A boyfriend?" Steven asked, almost choking on his soda. "He's not. I said he's just a boy who was hanging out with Justin and I answered. "What's his name? Do I need to meet his mother? Do you want me to schedule a play date?" I put my head down on the table, my cheeks were hot with embarrassment. "His name is Tyre. Lexi beat him in an arcade game yesterday and now he likes her," Justin said. Abby patted me on the shoulder and I thought that she was going to defend me by saying that it was only a boy liking a girl and that it probably does not mean much, but instead I got this. "Lexi and Tyler sitting in a tree, K-I-S-S-I-N-G. First comes love. Second comes marriage." Ouch! I hit her before she could continue. I have never been so embarrassed before in my life. I looked up for a second and I could see the family in the next booth over looking at us. "It makes no difference," I said in a hushed tone. "Or are you forgetting in a few days Lexi will cease to exist forever? Maybe. Or maybe you will fall in love with him, you will decide to stay as Lexi. You two can get married and you can find out the magic of childbirth in about 10 years. "No," I said. "I'm staying male. Dash." After eating pizza, I asked if I could go to the arcade with Justin. I had already been on almost every side and every water ride and I was ready to tackle the arcade upstairs. "I've already loaded your armbands with tokens," Steven said. "All you have to do is wave your band in front of the scanner to play a game." "Great, thanks Dad," Justin said, getting up. "Oh, and one more thing, Abby goes with you." I looked over at Abby and she looked at me happy like she was not expecting Steven to let her play with the big kids. "Fine," I said, taking Abby by the hand. "Just buzz us when you need us." Abby rode on Justin's shoulders all the way up to arcade. I looked around and found a game I used to be good at. The whole point of the game is to stop a light that is going along the ring on a certain number to get tickets. I waved my armband in front of the machine and a credit was added to the game. The light started to spin around the ring as I waited for the secret spot. Once the light hit the position that was 5 spaces before jackpot, I hit the button and the lights hit the jackpot. "Yay!" Abby said. I handed the tickets to Abby and moved on to the next one. This one was a 2-player basketball game. "I bet I can beat you," Abby said. "You're on," I said, waving my wristband at the game so the balls would drop. I grabbed the ball and Justin grabbed and handed it to Abby. The machine started a countdown, and once the clock hit 0, I started shooting the balls one by one into the hop. Justin grabbed the balls as fast as he could and handed them up to Abby to shoot. Once the clock ticked down to all zeros, Abby had 3 more points than I did. I congratulated her and gave her my tickets to hold on to. We played in the arcade for about an hour before Steven came up to the arcade. When he found us, Justin and I were playing on a whack-a-mole while Abby was yelling, "Whack it!" repeatedly. The round ended and I looked up to find Steven watching us. "Hi Daddy!" I said, collecting my tickets. "It's about time to go," he said. "This place is closing in a half an hour." I nodded and got up. Abby was not having it. "5 more minutes?" she begged. "No, sorry," Steven said, taking an obviously tired Abby into his hands. "Abby, you can help us pick out something at the gift stand," I said to cheer her up. Justin grabbed the box of tickets that we collected and handed it to Steven. "Let us redeem these and we will be ready to go," Justin said as we walked to the gift stand and handed the tickets to the lady behind the counter. "You have 1,700 tickets," she said once the counter was over. "What do you want, Abby?" I asked. Abby thought for a moment before she picked out a large stuffed bear. Once Abby got her bear, I picked out a stuffed purple and blue llama, and Justin picked out a small RC car. Dash! Once we got home, Abby grabbed her night clothes and took a bath while Steven unfolded the hideaway bed and started to make it up. After he was done, I noticed the same box I brought in yesterday. It looked like it had been opened and sealed again. I wondered what was in it, but I dared not to ask. Instead, I went to my room and put on the same pajamas I wore last night, thanking God I was wearing pants again. Abby came out of the bathroom 15 minutes later wearing light blue footy onesie pajamas. She crawled into bed and both Steven and I tucked her in, giving her the bear that she picked out. Abby took the bear and cuddled at her arms. I watched over her until she fell asleep.